if you have to pay rent, you have to fucking make that money, right?
Yeah.
So I just did that so I could get that push to be like, okay, I have to run a house. That taught me a lot. First DJ said, oh, I did for free. Please, who's gonna pay me?
Exposure.
Come on, like it's my first year. I actually got an opportunity to open for someone cool who taught me how to DJ. So that's
Right.
cool. But like it was all 3K GPay vibes, you know. It's damn different now. That 3K, 8K GPay vibes. It takes time though.
What's up? How's it going? क्या हाल है? मेरा नाम है Vinamre Kasanaa. अगर आप इस चैनल पे पहली बार आए हैं, consider subscribing because we release new episodes every Tuesday and Friday at 12 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Today's guest is Kayan urf Ambika Nayak, a musician from Mumbai who is making waves across the world, across India. Her music is genre agnostic. You can't tell if she's from here or somewhere else. I had a blast talking to her. She's also a model. She also does DJing. She's in the scene. You've definitely seen her or heard her music playing at a cafe or whatever. I had a great conversation with her. Probably, this is probably her first podcast, and it was just super nice to talk about performance, how to save your voice, how do you do songwriting, all the nitty-gritties of what it means to be a 21st century artist in India. We discuss all of that. The episode with Kayan begins in 3, 2, 1. What's up, cool kid?
What's up? How's it going?
It's been well, man. I wanted to speak to you about directly Jazz Weekender. I'm so sorry you missed your performance.
Yeah, I wish
But
you were there.
I saw stories of other people just like that say that you were like there, and I was actually somewhere else. I had just visited a play and I was too late for your performance. But straight off the bat, like that is a very purist jazzy audience,
Yeah.
right? You're like playing your stuff. So many years into it now, what was that like, the performance at Jazz Weekender?
So it actually turned out to be quite amazing.
Was the crowd warm to you?
Yeah, so
They
I was
knew
very
who you were?
nervous about it because I was
Yeah.
like, I mean, when we got the booking also, my management at that time, Third Culture, was like, listen, it's a dope show. You should say yes. Let's make this happen. I was like, okay, cool. And then I was like, okay, but I'm not really playing a lot of jazz. Like, it's cool, right? So initially, my band consists of 3 people plus me. And I also have a dance crew. So there's like 3 of my dancers also. So I was like, okay, Jazz Weekender, let's keep it chill. Let's not take the dancers with us. But as I got closer to the event, I actually started receiving a lot of messages like, oh, what day are you playing? And then I was just sharing a lot of pictures of my last performance, which had like my dance crew. And there were a lot of people who were like, oh my God, we want to see this. Like looking forward to this. And I was like, in my head, I was like, but I'm not taking the dancers with me. And immediately, I hit them up and I was like, you know what? This is my sound. It's very pop and R&B and soul
Right.
and whatever, you know, genres you want to call it. And this is my vibe. And I don't want to change that. Like, that is what it is. And I'm going to deliver a show to you like how we do. And if you like it, you like it. And it actually turned out to be amazing because we were also headlining that day. And there were a lot of people who were there who knew my music, who were singing it along with me, and they were really, really warm. And yeah, it was amazing. It was actually a really fun show.
Question about theatrics and performance. Matlab, there's like singers like Joni Mitchell who would just sit down and just, you
Yeah.
know, sing and then, you know, make a few singers cry because she was so
Yeah.
good. And then the era of MJ comes around and suddenly dancing is a part of it.
Yeah.
Now my Instagram Explore feed is full of Dua Lipa doing her
Yeah.
tricks and singing beautifully.
Yeah.
So at what point does your act translate from you just singing, right, and, you know, swerving a little bit, to becoming this full-fledged performance? Like at that point, are you curating this? Are you deciding that I'm going to be larger than life on the stage, as opposed to this is me, Ambika, and just my voice?
So it actually started with, I mean, first I had a band before I did anything as Kayan. I had a band called Kimochi Yokai, where we were R&B, pop, same genre, same vibe of music. And we used to perform like a band. So I was the
Right.
front man and I would like you said, swerve a little on stage and do my thing, and that was our vibe. After that, I had an electronic duo act called Nothing Anonymous, and that was my friend Nirmit and I who would perform together. And that was a little more like, because it was just the two of us, it was a little more of a dynamic performance. And eventually, Kayan has happened, and I'm putting out music as Kayan. And I think it has always been something, I don't know, it felt so organic that this is how it has to go. It started with two players in my band, drums and bass, with me, my friends Nate and Theer. And after that, we have added guitars to the mix, and that's just the sound aspect of it, which also eventually I want it to be much bigger. I want a horn section. I want it to be like a band,
Yeah.
And
so you can play at Piano Man.
Yeah, hell yes. Absolutely love Piano Man. But yeah, I want it to be like that, so that there could be many versions of this, There could be a version where we have a dance crew. There could be a version where it's just a huge band. Like, I just want it to be something that is adaptable, but it doesn't really change its core style. So I think it's something that happened very organically. Like, I like putting on a show, and I wanted it to be a little more of an experience, because the more I go out for gigs, there are some musicians and bands that I absolutely enjoy, but I don't know, I just felt like we can do so much more, and like I want it to be an experience for someone, and I feel like it's very different from anything that's even happening right now. So it's fun that it's fun when people come and they're not expecting that either. Like, a lot of people who are watching this for the first time, because it's a fairly new act, come and they're like, oh my god, there's dancers, there's like a nice big sound, they're really tight, and there's this person who can hold herself on stage like that. And I think that's a fun show to put on.
Are you someone who goes to people and says, hey, can you do the iPhone flashing thing?
I did it once, but it was never on a live set. I actually did it on
cheesy,
a DJ
right?
set. Yeah, because I was playing at this festival called Zomaland, and there were so many people. I was not expecting Zomaland to be that huge. I wasn't ready. I was like, okay, I'm going to Pune today, and like, let's go play this festival and come back. And I reached and I was like, okay, cool. There's like thousands of people, and I usually end my DJ sets with one of my songs. So I played Cool Kids, and I was like, I have to try this. I have to see what it's gonna be like. And so I was like, guys, flashlights please, or whatever. I said it in a certain way, and it was beautiful.
There's also the fear that they might not comply, right? Like, because you're not sure like how bought into you they are, right?
I think you can assess the vibe. Like, if it feels like it's not gonna happen, then like, don't.
Tell me about bad shows then, because like, I mean, for every banger that you put out, there's always like times when the crowd is completely cold, or you're not feeling it. And how do you gauge that the audience is with you? Is it the singing lyrics back to you? Is it the cheers? Like, how do you understand that you're having, I mean, you can be having a great time, right? But if they're not buying it, they're not buying it.
Yeah. With this Kayan live performance, I don't think we've had even one bad show yet, because it's all been curated in a way where, we're working with an audience that wants to be there for the sake of the music. But I have had, like, I used to play a lot of shows before this where I would just do like cover sets, just playing different covers with like different bands that I would put together.
Like what kind of covers?
Like, I would take pop songs and we would rearrange them to be a little jazzy or a little R&B.
Some Hiatus Coyote.
We used to love playing Hiatus like all the time. That was like a craze when we were in music school. That was like, this is what it is. So this is the kind of music we have to make. Like, that's what it felt like. Yeah,
it's probably the only neo-funk band that I've ever heard that I can just say, you would not expect that sound to come out from Australia of all places,
and
right?
It's amazing. And like, she's brilliant. Like, it's
I heard, I was in Boston for a few years, and I had a lot of friends from Berkeley, and they would come and play in my basement, because I used to run a music venue with my roommate. And
oh, what?
Yeah.
That's so cool. Okay.
I would just do the hyping. He booked the acts, because we had a tiff. I was like, if you want to get all these international kids to throw a lot of money, you gotta have deep house and techno. It's like, no, this is a rock purist place. But that's when I noticed that this kind of jo wo bajate hain, the neo funk style, it's not something that everyone buys in an audience. So coming back to the covers that you were playing, that not go out well with people?
It used to go really well, because I mean, That's why we used to do it, you know, because we take pop songs so people know these lyrics and they know these songs.
Yeah.
But we wanted to play it in a style that we used to enjoy playing, which is why we would rearrange it. And there are a couple of bands that we actually used to listen to a lot, fully zapping on them right now. But yeah, that's the vibe that we used to go with. It actually worked really well. But I think eventually that gave me a lot of experience and a lot of like, you know, of reading crowds, blah, blah, blah. Because a lot of times we were playing to people who did not give... can I cuss?
Yeah. The kind of shit we do on this podcast is, I mean...
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
So people... Suddenly I got so relaxed.
Dude, bro, like, I hate this whole censorship stuff. Like there is no like media control. It's not like, oh, you know, children and parents are watching. बोल कोई दिक्कत नहीं है.
Sahi hai. So they didn't give a fuck that we were there on stage, you know. And I think you just also get a little used to it because you can't expect an audience to always when you're playing shows like that. But it really helped me learn so much, you know. And I think it's like every musician should go through that. Like take as many shows. It was your
Hamburg. Like the Beatles had Hamburg, right?
Yeah, I guess.
You know what that is, right?
They had like that moment where it was like a really bad show. And,
it was basically like they were not really this act, but they were signed on to play 10, 12 hours. So they would take amphetamines and like fucking play to like a German bar with sailors and drunkards coming in.
This.
Yeah. That's how they became so good because that's so many practice hours.
Yeah, it's kind of like, paid practice in a way. We still have certain times when we feel like that, never with the live band, but sometimes I'm playing DJ sets at such a frequency that I think Hamburg keeps happening. Hote rehta hai.
So how do you, like, you've been playing live for how long now at this point?
Like maybe 5 or 6 years.
5 or 6 years. And what is something that you have learned about crowds that has helped you better your act? And I'm only saying that because, look, I've been doing podcasts for a while, but I've always done them like one-on-one when the person comes in. It's easier to talk to one person. I recently did 2 live panels with an audience. The first one I was a little hammered for, so it could have been better. And I was speaking out of my ass. The second one I was prepared. And then every now and then I would speak to the audience and make a joke. And that was so addictive that I wanted to keep doing it again and again. Right? So that was my little stint with an audience. You're going out there. Sometimes they know you, sometimes they don't. What do you do to get them in state? Is it just the music? Are you maybe doing are you with me? Like, you know, that kind of stuff.
So I think from set to set, it depends, right? Like if I'm doing a DJ set, let's say I'm playing a festival, I usually never MC when I'm DJing, but there have been certain festivals in the past season where I picked up the mic or I got an MC along with me because I needed that. Or the audience wouldn't have connected with me. It was just that kind of a setup. So that really worked well. So I guess I figured that because of the kind of lineup that it was, I realized that, you know, my sound is a little different from this. I don't know if these people, all of them definitely don't know me. How do I get their attention a bit? And like, let's say when there are 6 singers getting on stage and you put a DJ after that, they already listening to somebody talk to them, you know, communicate with them and have that, like, you know, conversation with them. So suddenly it feels like a little bit of a disconnect. That's just like music blasting. So I feel like when it's that kind of a setup and it's not 6 DJs on a lineup, you have to engage with them a little bit. Like that's really, really helpful. So that's when I would be like, are you guys good? Are you guys with me? Or, you know, whatever happens naturally. I'm not a big fan of doing that.
Good evening, Delhi!
Like, what's good, Delhi? You know, like, whatever. But otherwise, with the live shows, I think we start with a bang. Like, literally, I enter stage with a massive jacket. That's like what we've been doing for the past few live shows. And it's just like, it's just so eye-catching to like have this thing come on stage and be like, okay, what's going on? And the song just starts and you play the song and then you have the dancers come and take the jacket off and it's an outfit reveal. And it's like, if that's not grabbing your attention, then like,
that's the reason why people, like back when we used to still watch IFA awards, that was a thing, right? Like the best Bollywood people would come on with a bunch of dancers, do cool stunts, and that would get you hooked because they would not always have good comedic timing when they were giving their awards. So you needed that. I don't know if too many people do that still. I think I've seen a lot of rap and DHH gigs, and so you do it live. You're not syncing to music that's already playing in the background, right?
There is a track playing. There are backing vocals playing. Then there are instruments on top of that. Those instruments are muted. So there's some sound coming, but there's everything else is live and I'm singing live.
Got it.
Yeah.
A quick story. So when I got to Boston, I figured that Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin was playing live. Big, huge fan. So I went, $160 ticket. I was like, what the fuck, so expensive. All old people there.
Yeah.
When I saw him, I got to a shrill level of, like how you scream because you're so excited.
Yeah.
Like I was my big fanboy moment. And I remember that gig is probably the best one I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
So anywhere from, say, growing up to now, like what are some gigs that you attended of other people that struck you out as spectacular, that, made you feel something on the inside that maybe influenced your live act?
There was, I think, one of the coolest acts that I have never attended an international music festival. I've never experienced music outside of India, and I can't wait to do that. Like this year, I'm really planning on doing that, because a lot of the acts that I listen to have never come here, and they're not coming here anytime soon either. So I really feel like that's something that I'm missing out on, because just experiencing, a show of that scale or production levels like that is insane. But there was Jacob Collier who had come it was maybe 2-3 years before the lockdown. And he's this amazing musician. He's like one of those child prodigies who fucking like was doing music when he was in the womb or some shit like that, and then came out like with 6 instruments. It's like, dude, how you even like this? But he played a show in Bombay at NCPA, and it blew my mind. He was such an amazing performer. He makes the audience sing with him like a choir, like people who've never met each other before. It's like, I'm going to link you to this. You have to see it. It's brilliant. And I think that was one of the best shows that I've experienced over here. And the way he interacted with the audience was beautiful, and I love that. So I have a certain song on my set. It's called Be Alright, and it's like this happy, fun song. And I usually get the audience to sing that with me in the end. And it's just so nice and also like positively reaffirming, because we're all shouting, we're going to be alright. So, yeah. Yeah. So that's definitely something that had like a huge impact on me.
Yeah. Your sound, and I'm not going to shit on people with Indian English because I love Indian English, but I can't decipher the way you sing the lyrics.
Yeah.
There's no twang of, you say a word and you roll the R extra hard because you're Indian.
Yeah.
So the first thing that came to my head is like, I really can't, if I did not know who you were, I would have a hard time telling if it's from Copenhagen or Adelaide or Seattle. There really isn't like I'm from India.
Copenhagen, Adelaide, or Seattle. I'm like, wow, how do you even think of those places?
I quickly thought of all continents, and I was like, what is the first city that comes to my head? And I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but that must have been deliberate, right? You want to get the water, but you're stuck? Huh.
I was like, I'm so glad you addressed that, because you just watch me suffer otherwise. Thank you, man.
No stress. I'm also reading the crowd at all times.
Yeah.
Don't edit this out. I think this looks good with the pani ka pause. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, the accent. I have no idea what it is.
No, not your accent, but was that deliberate to sing in English? And
to sing in English, I think that's also, the thing is, I'm not like, oh, I'm never going to sing in Hindi. I have actually sung in Hindi, but for more commercial work. It's just something that I grew up with, It's just that I grew up listening to music that was written in English, and it's my first language because that's what we speak at home. So it's something that I'm used to, and it happened very organically. Like I wrote my first song when I was in school.
Yeah.
I had a little band with my friend Katyayani. It was called Pink Virus. Pata nahi kyun. I'm just thinking of that. And we had written like some song together. And I used to just like watch TV. Used to watch MTV and VH1. That was kind of happening back then. And that's the music that I used to listen to. And cassettes of, that my dad had left behind. So it was just a lot of rock also. There was a lot of Red Hot Chili Peppers, Pearl Jam.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah. Huge fan. So there were these cassettes. So I just grew up listening to a lot of that. Even though I learned classical music, I felt more of a connection with this, like I could write in English, and that just happened organically. And so I write in English and I sing in English.
The first
it's
few
Bandra,
rhymes,
bro. Someone's always shouting all the time, especially ground floor or first floor.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it really helps to have a first floor thing. Sadly, they ran out. So,
Nahi, I live
but
on the
people
first
enjoy
floor.
the background music. They're like,
Yeah.
haha, authentic, not in a studio. But the first few rhymes must like be basic, right? Bat cat sat, jo wo wali baat hoti hai, like AA style. Like, because I've written poems all my life, and how I started was again rat bat sat. Like, how do I go to the next one? Oh, should, could, would.
Yeah.
So, from a songwriting, because I mean, obviously, I guess the song that most people know about you is School Kids, right? It's the song that you sing and people associate you most with. How did you get to a level where it's, flowy and chilling without being obvious A, B, A, B, A, B? I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. I feel like that same rat, cat, bat, and should, would, could is still used in a format like this also. Like, there would be places where I'd probably get stuck and I would probably think of the words that rhyme with this word and I'd make it fit somehow. Like, I've done that so many times just because it's literally an easy way out when you're stuck in a certain place, and maybe change it later or not. But if you do not want to stick, like, I don't think I've really ever sat down with a verse and been like, this is the rhyming scheme that I want to use. Though I do know a lot of rappers do that. It's very cool how they play with their words like that. You can really get deep into it and, work with that and make really cool stuff. I let it happen very naturally. And then if I do notice a pattern, then I could probably use the rat, bat, cat method and just think of other words, And sometimes I even like Google like synonyms and stuff like that. That probably help me find the right word if I'm ever stuck. Yeah,
so I mean, just to get nerdy about this, so you've got your bedroom studio where you're like composing this. Are you composing in a bedroom studio? Are you like making stuff on the way? Do you have like a journal with scrap lyrics?
Yeah, I do. I have a journal. I have my notes. I have a million voice notes. I have a little setup at home. It's not even like a studio. It's just like a mic and my laptop.
Put a blanket on your face and just...
Yeah, I've done that too. Obviously, I mean, which like singer who's recorded something has not? But most of these songs, I've got demos at home, man, and like very few of them have actually gone to the studio to like record my vocals.
Yeah.
Most of them have been done at home, and I have really like really good mix engineers and producers that I do work with who know how to clean up sound really well. So, and we've not even needed a lot of that. So that's
yeah. So
bedroom studio vibes.
For example, if I want to get ideas for writing, I take a long walk sometimes, or I just look at my old stuff. I don't write songs. I just write like mini essays and tweets, all that jazz. For you, what is that? Like, are you... Maybe the right question is, are you like, say there is an insistence to make something happen or get a song out and you've got some pressure and you're like, how do I make a song? Does that ever happen? Or... Like, what I'm trying to ask is songwriting a part of a daily routine, or is it just like more operational stuff about going to gigs and rehearsals, and songwriting kind of happens whenever it happens?
I think there are phases. Like, sometimes I pick time for myself. Like, I'll be like, okay, this week I'm writing. That's it. Because if I don't do that with the schedule I have in life right now, I won't be writing at all. So you just really have to take that time out. And currently, like for the past few weeks, the way things have been, I'd be like, I'd feel so exhausted to even think of writing something, So you have to kind of make that time for yourself when life gets really busy. Earlier, it was kind of like an everyday thing. When I was in music school, the vibe was really different.
Where was music school?
So I studied at this place called the True School of Music in Bombay. They shut down or they moved to another place now. But at that time, it was in Lower Parel. And it was an amazing experience because for the first time, I felt like I was in a place where I wanted to study and I was surrounded by people, like-minded people who were encouraging, and we had amazing faculty, and I think that changed a lot of things for me. So that was music school, and then when we were in music school, that's what I was living day in, day out. And it was the most amazing feeling because...
More rigorous, you're also surrounded by musicians that you can bounce ideas off. And
practice was a really big part of, my routine, which it isn't so much right now.
Yeah.
But... like it's a very on and off thing, but it really was. So songwriting was also way more like, okay, this is a day I'm going to sit and work on this, and I'm going to look at songwriting techniques and read about it. And I still do it because you have to like keep learning. But Yeah, that was music school.
But you also grew up in a household with your mother. Was she in Kathak or classical music?
So my mom is a Hindustani classical vocalist. My dadi was a Kathak dancer. Yeah, my family is very like culturally rich. I'm so happy that it is like that. It's only in retrospect that I realize, fuck, this is so cool, you know, because like when I was a kid, I didn't think it was cool.
At that time, you're probably like, you know, a kid of Asian parents who make you forcefully learn the piano.
I was like, yeah, just like, the thing is, I was also only good at extracurricular activities. but even those classes were like, I was like forced to go for, you know, it's called part class. In Tamil, it's singing, music class. Yeah, part means singing.
Okay.
In Tamil. So, if I'm right, yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
If you're not, you're going to find out soon.
No, part class was singing class, music class, music.
And so, you go the standard Sare Gama Pa, all that?
Yeah, but Carnatic classical. So, Hindustani is Hindustani classical, and then there's Carnatic classical.
The syllables change?
No, it's Sare Gama Pa Dha Ni Sa in Hindustani, and it's Sare Gama Pa Dha Ni. Yeah, it's the syllables are the same. It's the way it's said that's a little different, and the tonality of it is also different. Like the sound of it, it's a little different.
Okay, so just say, as a complete layman, I just discovered these cool ragas, cool raga, darbari, and all that. I think they're pretty awesome to listen to, and they're all set for moods. Did you ever grow up around like understanding that maybe your mother was playing music for a certain time of the day? Was that?
Yeah, I mean, she's obviously a person who knows so much more about this, but also they're from different gharanas. So my mom is from Gwalior Gharana, which is, her guru was from Gwalior Gharana, and that's what she studied. And she has, to some extent, you know, explained a little bit about ragas to me.
But you were still like obsessing over RHCPs. I was like, okay, okay.
That was actually, you know, that happened a little after. So this music class situation. So my mom used to take music classes at home, and I'd wake up and there'd be like 6 kids in the hall singing, and she used to take me for classes with her also. So she's a single mom, okay. I lost my dad when I was very young, like maybe I was 4.5, 5 years old, and my mom used to work a lot to like hold us all together, and she used to take like little me and her big tanpura, क्योंकि तभी electric tanpura नहीं था, सिर्फ वो बड़ा वाला tanpura था.
I'm sorry, and what is it?
So tanpura is an instrument that you kind of play like this.
Is that a sitar?
The sitar is sitar is sort of different, and tanpura is sort of different, but it's like the same family, you could say. So there was, and it's huge, man, these tanpuras. So she used to take a big tanpura, and she used to take a little me, and she used to get on trains and take me for all her classes.
In Tamil Nadu?
In Bombay.
In Bombay?
Yeah, I grew up in Bombay.
Okay.
So she would take me for all her classes. So I was surrounded by it, but I would actually be doing my own thing to kill time, kind of a situation, you know. Yeah. I wasn't really paying attention to what she was telling them.
It's her shit. I am in my own world, yeah.
Yeah, so that was the vibe. So I did grow up around this a lot, you know, and my daddy still has a dance school. I mean, she passed away. She left a dance school in Calcutta. That's super cool. My dad used to paint. My aunt, she writes.
But this time must have trained your ear to receiving music on a constant basis, as opposed to people who start music at a later time. They kind of learn everything from scratch, right?
I guess, yeah, because I can't even imagine a world like that. Like, I don't understand that, you know? I used to teach music. And
what did you teach?
I used to teach vocals and piano.
Yeah.
I was teaching for like 3-4 years.
So you help people for Trinity School of Music, जो certification होती है.
I did teach Trinity also, कि मैंने भी किया था.
How does that make sense? I don't know why people do it, right? Just Trinity? To get into colleges, right?
Yeah, it helps, I guess, to some. It's like having a certificate, no?
Yeah.
I guess people need that now in today's world. I finally feel like, fuck, like, do you really need it?
You don't need it.
I didn't do college, like, you know.
The great vocalist in Faridabad, Ronald Paul, he would come to my house and train my sister in vocals. She was always better, but I was the one who would smoke and like listen to rock. I was like in it for the passion. Yeah. One day he's like, I'm going to train you both for Trinity. You, my sister, you do grade 8. He's like, Vinamre, you do grade 3. I was like, I'm not studying under you ever again. So then I was like, I'm going to go on my own. Eventually I decided to make a band in college, and like we sang a bunch of shitty numbers. But
what was your band called?
Fuck, it was okay. I had a frat, so it was just called the Phi Kappa House Band.
Okay. Creative as
Or
fuck.
what's even funny is like this music venue that we started the first night. A band from Berkeley College of Music comes, scored sick, and we're like, because we're the frat band, can we go before you? So we were so bad that they tuned our guitars for us, and then we went on. We sang. So Indian dude singing "Sweet Home Alabama," and "Are You Gonna Be My Girl" by Jet. Ye karke.
Love that song.
It's so good. I saw a performance at Piano Man. This band called Be Right Back. They were playing it, and it's so good. It's such an underrated rock number that people have forgotten.
I love that song
because that's the only song that band is known for. That's why.
Okay, I couldn't think of one other song.
That's exactly my point.
I know that there's so many people, like, that's just me, but if that's a universal thing, that makes me feel a little better.
They're called Jet, if anyone's interested. But anyway, so, I mean, I know that this whole Trinity shit did not make sense, and I know several people who never had those certifications, but went on to be fantastic musicians.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, it's a certificate... I forgot the word.
Certificates.
I can't say.
Certification.
Certificate. Anyway, so the certificate. You don't need a certificate, man. Clearly,
real,
I don't
bro.
have a certificate. But so I used to teach Trinity, but it was just following something to teach someone else. But after that, I did my own thing also.
So what do vocal drills look like for you? Like
that is one. There's
that's the only one I know.
You can do that.
Yeah.
Then there is you.
Okay.
That's called the fire brigade or something. Whatever. Then there's yeah, and then you keep going half a semitone up. And there's so many vocal exercises to open your voice up, to help achieve different things that you probably want to understand your voice better. Because at the end of the day, like my primary instrument is my voice, and it's so much more. It's as beautiful as it is. It's not something I can hold in my hand, right? It's something that I have to understand. It's just inside me. So there's a lot of training that goes into actually understanding that. It doesn't have to be from school. I got lucky that I was able to go to music school. But if you have even the slightest access to the internet, there are so many exercises that you can find that just help you with your voice. And just generally understanding your voice better, you'll know things that you automatically want to do.
There must be a phase in your life when... how long have you been roughly singing from? Like, since the time you were born?
Bacha.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I remember reading the Godfather book, not the actual movie. I watched it first, but then I read the book.
That's good. Did you like the book more or the movie?
The book is more detailed.
Okay.
But the movie is special in its own right.
Of course.
But it's very interesting because the singer that they show in Connie's... You watched the film, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's the first scene is Connie's wedding.
Yeah.
Right? And then Johnny...
I love the music, actually.
Yeah, so
really cool.
That Italian heartthrob kind of singer guy who comes at the start...
Yeah.
And sings a song.
Yeah.
I forget his name. Johnny Fonta or something like that.
Yes. Okay,
right?
now I remember. Yes, you're right.
So, and all the girls are like swooning over him because he's got that thick kind of Frank Sinatra-like voice.
Yeah.
So in the book, there's a whole chapter about him where he's like a fading star.
Yeah.
And he's broken off from that boyish because he became famous when he was a boy.
Yeah.
And his voice is in the middle. So he's not exactly a man yet. And he's not exactly... like he's past boy before man. I don't know how to explain it. So his voice is fucked up.
Yeah.
It takes a long while, but eventually it acquires the kind of deep, velvety thickness of like a...
texture that it has.
Right, whatever that is. So there must be a time in your life as well. My God, I had to take such a long analogy to make this question. But
I love that you brought up The Godfather, and that's a very cool way to explain it. And it was quite an iconic...
it's a great film and probably one of the best soundtracks ever. But with your voice, since it's how you express yourself and eventually make a career, right? I mean, you know, have there been times when something happens in your life and your voice goes for a toss?
Exhaustion causes your voice to just... like right now, I have a really tired voice. I've had like 3 absolutely exhausting days. If I had to play a live gig today, I would give it my best, but I'd probably have a sore throat at the end of it.
Yeah.
You have to really take care of your voice. So exhaustion causes that. if you are shouting too much, because that's happened. Like, let's say if I'm playing a DJ set and the next day I have a live show, which happened this weekend, I will not drink cold things. I will not shout, even though it's difficult to do any of that.
Right.
I will play diligently and contain my voice and save it for my live show.
Let the drop take care of it.
Yeah, let the drop take care of it. Like, jump harder, you know, whatever. But no, but it's also like, it's just a fun thing. It happens like organically if you're playing a really fun show, you know. And I don't drink, so I had like a bad habit of drinking a lot of Red Bulls, and I've really cut that down. So
Yeah, because you can't sleep at 9, bro. So much caffeine.
you can't sleep at night, and it just makes you feel not great. But that's because I overdid the Red Bull. I love Red Bull so much.
Yeah.
So being so caffeinated is not the best thing ever. So I cut down on that. So I just like take care of these things if I have like a live show, if I have to sing or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It does
how do
affect
you
your
recover
voice.
your voice from like a bad weekend?
Rest.
Just
Yeah,
sleeping?
you just have to rest. You have to rest your voice also. You have to talk softly. You have to take care of yourself. You have to drink warm things.
Out of sheer curiosity, Ambika, how is it that जो ये 70s में singers थे इतना फूकते थे, despite that they could hit those shrill notes?
Yeah, you still can. Like my mom, she smokes and she sings like a boss. It's just also something that your body adapts to. So I used to smoke like all the time, and I'd still pull off these gigs. It's just that it's been like about 6 months since I quit smoking.
Yeah.
And not that much has changed for my voice, but I feel better, like my body and all of that. But your voice, your throat adapts to that. Like people, they're like really badass singers who smoke on stage.
Like Louis
and
Armstrong?
Sing. Like Louis Armstrong. Even our band over here, Peter Cat Recording.
Yeah, I know Surikant.
Yeah, he smokes on stage. He's got that vibe, and I'm like, bruh, he's like drinking, smoking, singing. Like, I think that's his vibe, it's super cool. Another friend of mine, Josh, he's goes by J-Babe, and he's the lead singer of the F-16s. He also smokes and sings and all of that, and he smokes a lot, and somehow he just sings, and he sounds great, man. So it's something that your voice also like adapts to.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you can take care of it, then why not,
I want to speak to you about the music business a little bit, because I think that the way, मैंने तो Instagram से ही देखा है, and I've listened to your songs on Spotify, but the way you've kind of come on the scene is like impressive. Like, bam, now you've got, you've got representation, you've got followers, people listen to your stuff, you go to these cool gigs, right? Did you kind of figure this out all along the way, that maybe this needs to be more than just me going to different gigs and trying to promote ourselves? Like, what did you do behind the scenes to kind of unlock whatever success you've had so far?
I don't think there's any one particular thing or any particular things that I did. I think what's kind of happened is I have not altered anything that I want to be. Like, I have not wanted to change what I want to portray, like it is what it is. And I feel like that has kind of spoken for itself. And apart from the fact that I sing, I also DJ, I do a bunch of different things, which kind of help just all of it grow, I think. I really feel like when something is real, it's going to speak volumes, and it's just people will probably connect with you. One thing that did kind of help push things a bit was the lockdown. Because in the lockdown was when I started spending more time on Instagram, because out of sheer like boredom, but also that was where we were trying to do music, because suddenly everyone was doing live gigs on Instagram.
Lives, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So instead of just singing live, I started I used to like wash the bartans at home, and I'd go live. I used to attempt cooking, and the only reason I was doing that was because I wanted some company. Like, I wanted to see what people are up to, it was like a complete joke, but that really helped me connect. And I don't do that now because there are like a lot more followers. I don't feel that comfortable doing that. But back then it was a little more chill. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever, washing my bartans, laughing, talking shit. Matlab, maze aa rahe the yaar. Lockdown mein aur kya karu? So that really helped, honestly, because it just, I think people felt a little more like, everybody wants to see what's going on in someone's life.
Yeah. Everyone
People
was a
love that.
vlogger at that point. Everyone was like, hey, look at my life.
Yeah, this is what's going
Yeah.
on. And I wasn't even doing it for the sake of that. I swear I just wanted some company, man, while washing,
Yeah.
while doing the dishes.
I know several friends in Mumbai had a really hard time with the loneliness that came because a lot of people who were staying alone.
Yeah.
I had moved from Mumbai in the lockdown because I
Yeah.
figured out that someone
Were
gave
you
me
with
like
your family?
yeah, I went back to my family and
Okay.
it's like, oh, great people, haven't seen them in a while. But that helped because I could be at home and there was this sense of camaraderie. But then several people just like braved the lockdowns alone and they were just like in
Yeah,
4
that
days.
is really difficult if you're
Yeah.
alone. I luckily had a flatmate and like we had the best relationship ever. Like we'd fucking
hoega hi.
fight. Like no, we used to fight a lot because it was just the two of us. So it used to be
Yeah.
like, fuck, like I'm sick of your shit. But at the same time, I was so blessed to have him.
Yeah.
Fuck, if he hears this, he's gonna be like, yeah, I'm the shit, but actually no. But it was fun because I had a friend, man, and then
Yeah.
2-3 friends used to kind of sneak out and come chill with us. So
Yeah, I
we
was
used to
I
have a
listened to a
thing.
lot of Huberman Lab, like the guy a lot.
Obsessed.
Yeah, he often talks
That's
about
another podcast that I probably listen to. Yeah.
Yeah.
On
Yeah,
and
he's consistently good. I take the sunlight, I get the
Yeah.
movement in, get the sunlight
This
on the eyes
ideal
and the
life.
skin. I do my meat diet. But there's one thing that he says, which is like, one of the 5 pillars of well-being, roughly. I saw that clip today. He's like, you need social connection.
Connection, yeah.
And you need the eyes of others to regard you, right? Like, I see you. One of the hardest things that, and I don't know this experience, so I've just, based on research and seeing, one of the hardest things that people who are on the street, homeless, struggle with is being seen,
Yeah.
right? Because the first instinct is to just move away and look the other way, right?
Yeah.
And so beyond all the things that they're bereft of, it's that. But in the lockdown, several people were just at home not being seen. Despite the video calls that you could do with people, there is
Yeah.
still the need to physically see someone, be
And
regarded.
physically feel someone around you.
Like oxytocin, like hugs.
Yeah.
I remember I was hugging a lot in the lockdown. It's so weird, but it's just, we went into like biological overdrive,
Yeah.
and I don't think we realized we went through this shit, and now that everything's opened up, there's gigs, there's, like chilling happening.
Yeah, with a vengeance.
It was a weird time, man.
Yeah, it really was. But that's actually something that's really, really important. I mean, connection. I'm so glad that probably is something that people gave more fucks about because of the lockdown. But connection really gets you through a lot of things.
Yeah.
And like it's something that helped me in my life a lot. Like I have a very strong support system and I have a very strong sense of family. I'm really grateful for that. I know that everybody doesn't have that, and that is something that has gotten me through a lot. It has to be my number one go-to when I feel down. So
Yeah, I was gonna ask you what is like your safe, happy place, and I guess it's just kind of the
it's
people
just
you...
this. I have a few friends that I'm really grateful for because I mean, I can count them on my fingers, and I have those many, and even that's a lot. People that I can talk to and feel okay with, because life just gets really exhausting sometimes. I mean, after the lockdown, like you said, things have come back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
So it's been about a year or so that I've
Why a
kind of
vengeance?
been like, it just feels like people had so much pent up, like,
Yeah.
this is like lockdown energy max pro, like let's fucking go pro
Yeah.
max, let's go, like let's party. So many more parties,
Yeah.
so many more things just going on, and so many more people suddenly coming out. We have such a different audience at most of the gigs that we used to usually go to.
Yeah.
And I think that's great also.
The scenes have dispersed, they've changed.
Yeah.
I would just go for box out Wednesdays and spend my days.
Yeah,
and,
that's
like,
cool, man.
Yeah, Mo is a friend. So just
Shout out to Mo.
shout out to
Jazzy.
Mo.
Shout out to
Shout out
Mo.
one of the best ones in the scene. So just go to this channel, Oro Summer Houses. Then once the lockdown ended, I'm at all these art shows in places like I've known,
Yeah.
You're
just doing different things.
Yeah, because you realize, man, you really miss the
Yeah,
outdoors. you
yeah,
know? And,
absolutely.
parks are no fun when they're empty. That's why I
Yeah.
see it. Although you don't have to.
We
miss
don't
parks
have
here.
I was like, yeah,
It's a
in
Delhi
Delhi,
thing, it's a Delhi thing.
not
Yeah.
in Bombay.
Dude, when I used to stay here, I would go to Joggers Park, and there's only 3
So
or 4
crowded.
slivers of grass that you can conveniently work out on.
Yeah.
And even those are occupied by actresses and their trainers, actors and their trainers. So I would just get one sliver, and it's this is the only grass I will step on for days and spend
Yeah.
my time there.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
really soft.
Yeah, this.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually have been wanting to do a picnic for a really long time in a park. I swear I've like really wanted this and it's just not happening. And I think the only place I can do it is Delhi.
You should, yeah. Delhi is notorious for fabulous big gardens, long.
Like my friends
benches.
do picnics over there and stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah, you've always been a Bombay girl. When you decide to like just stay here and like, not check out other. जैसे कुछ creatives करते हैं कि bro मैं गोवा move कर रहा हूँ, वहाँ ना बहुत creativity है.
नहीं मुझसे नहीं हो सकता bro. मैं गोवा ऐसे move नहीं कर सकती. Like I'm too used to Bombay. Like it's as much as I've started feeling like this is peaceful compared to like all these weekends that I'm doing because I'm traveling every weekend for like 3-3 to 2. Not 3-3. I've stopped doing 3-3 this weekend, yeah. But like it's been so hectic that when I come back to this, I'm like, wow, Shanti. This feels great.
The dogs of Bandra and cats of Bandra feel like home, huh?
They do feel like home. I have a cat at home. He feels like home. I love coming back to him. It's the best thing ever.
What's it like owning a cat? I've just always been wary of cats, bro.
I used to be too till I raised one who just like adopted me because that's the thing with cats. I feel like they come and adopt you. Obsessed with cats, could literally do like 1,000 conversations on just cats. But that happened after I raised my first kitten, you know. What also was special that it was a really difficult time in my life. I was going through a lot of shit. And I think I was putting my family also through a lot of shit because of my misbehavior. I was young, I was a teenager, and I was absolutely psychotic. So not psychotic, but I was just...
on the edge.
I was like a rebel without a cause, kind of a sitch, but like not meaning to, but still doing all of this shit.
Ho jata hai.
Yeah, ho jata hai. So... this little kitten came into our lives and then she was like the reason why my family just kind of like became like, okay, we're all taking care of this one little thing. And she was like a little puppy actually, you know. It's just different cats have different personalities and once you spend time with them, you understand and you kind of vibe with them. You're like,
No, I have a question about cats. So, yahan pe aaya, you've obviously seen, you've come here later in the evening.
Yeah.
In the day, there's like fucking, I don't know, bro, 8 cats looking at us. Changing in the room, वहाँ पे वो पर्दा खुला हुआ था, एक cat मेरे को देख रही है, like, bro, what the hell? But, and I try to do so how I attract dogs, like I can do dogs very well. It's like, basic. Cats like 50-50 on, like they come, but then they do this weird thing where they bend the back. What does that mean? Like, does that?
Sometimes they're just stretching, and sometimes they're bending their back, like they're doing the cat. It's actually like the...
It's like the camel hump, basically.
The camel, I was thinking cat and camel, and I was like, which one is the cat? Which one is the camel? Fuck. But no, they do that when they're either scared or when they're just stretching. So sometimes they just come and they rub themselves against your legs because that's their way of saying, hi, what's up?
So that did
and
happen.
They never respond to... They sometimes respond to pss, pss, pss. But most of the times they hear you and they choose not to respond. So that's just their vibe. Like they're a little like I love dogs also. It's not like I'm a cat person or a dog person.
I would start a fight in the comments.
Fuck yeah. I'm kidding. I don't like
fights.
That's
okay, bro. Hate dogs. Love cats. Who cares?
What? No.
Yeah, or the other way around. I don't know.
Don't hate cats or dogs.
Hey, I hate all animals equally, but that's just me. No, I have a dog.
Yeah, I would have had a dog if it was just a little more feasible. It's just not.
Yeah, so they need a lot of space to run around and
cats,
be athletic.
Yeah, and cats can kind of chill. If my house is cat proofed, it's fine. And but he doesn't like being left alone either. He needs company. He needs people. He needs to be the center of fucking attention all the time.
Yeah, I read a poem once, and it said that if you want to understand the coldness of lovers, you gotta understand the coldness of a cat. And I felt that. Wow. See, it's just something I wanted to say to a cat owner.
Damn.
सच बात है क्या?
हाँ यार.
You're like awestruck by that.
Bro. Yeah.
Yeah, because dogs are so fucking loyal. Like even if you put them through shit, they're like, like that's them.
Yeah, but cats are not like loyal like that, but they kind of are. Like they just don't express it in the same way. Like my cat is my cat. He's my person. How he is with me, he's with nobody else. Like that's just him, and we just have that bond. And
does it eat the rats of Bandra?
No, he's a fattu. Okay. Balls. I put a rat in front of him, वो भाग जाएगा. Like that's not happening.
You hold rats? Is that what you do? Oh, me, like you actually like play with rats also?
No.
Actually, you said you put a rat in front of him as if like you're getting it.
No, I was just saying that like metaphorically, but that
Okay.
actually also did happen where in my old house, we had in the lockdown, my ex-flatmate and me had kind of adopted him together. So
A rat.
No, my cat.
Okay, cat.
But we had some mice in the kitchen because we had this huge terrace and the kitchen was outdoors.
Huh.
So there's this little mouse running around. And we were like, we have Suki. Suki is our cat. We're like, let's see what happens. So we put Suki in the kitchen. Suki saw the mouse. The mouse saw Suki. Suki's fucked off. He just ran in the other direction. And the mouse was running around the kitchen. So my cat did not help us at all. So that has actually happened where we put him in front of like a mouse. And it was like a teeny tiny mouse.
Damn.
And he didn't do shit.
Bro, I hate the rats of Bandra with a vengeance.
Dude, they're fucking huge.
They're huge.
Bandicoots.
So, मैंने कौन सी video देखी थी? Like some people in Harlem showed like a rat coming in, looking at them straight in the face, not giving a fuck, stealing a cookie, और वो कम से कम 4 foot का होगा. Like not 4 foot, sorry, 2-3 foot का, which is pretty huge if you think about it. I had a 1.5 footer rat come to my Bandra. I used to stay in Waterfield Road,
Yeah.
2019, in this like shitty Sindhi colony area, right, with like drainage coming down and fucking like दीवारों में ceiling and mold, all that jazz. So I was like, Bandra living, what's up, cafes, kitchen garden. That was my jam. So anyway, one day I was like, this place needs some ventilation. So I opened the windows, and I fucking went away somewhere. Then I ordered pizza and red velvet ice cream from Tossin Pizza. मैं खा रहा हूँ बढ़िया बैठ के.
Damn, you're on the Tossin vibe, huh? Nice.
I love Tossin, bro. Tossin is good.
Tossin is like a midnight go-to. I'm over it now
Yeah.
for a bit, but yeah.
2-3 baje wala. It's probably the only place open in Bandra. Otherwise, you've got
pizza,
Chulha
Tossin.
and all that jazz.
Yeah. Now there's some new places, but yeah, Tossin.
Yeah, so I was doing like my regular Tossin, watching a Netflix show in bed, fucking
Yeah.
jobless, unemployed, enjoying my life, dicking around in Bandra. And all of a sudden, underneath the Godrej Almari, this fat rat just puts his head out. And bro, it starts coming toward the bed and it starts going, मैं ऊपर आऊँगा, fearlessly. Now, I did not realize that. हाँ, मतलब मेरे को यार ऐसा लगा कि बताओ. And I, when you feel fear that runs down the nape of your neck.
Yeah.
I felt that. So I got a PVC pipe that was in the back and I tried to like poke it. And I went behind the Godrej Almira. But it was such a stressful situation because on one hand I'm eating my pizza, sitting on the bed, and then blocking its exits and watching something on Netflix at the same time.
That is such a TV show scene right there.
Because I was not like, I'm okay with this rat. I was scared. So eventually I realized like this is going to take all night. So I took the pizza and red velvet cake outside. I was in a 1 BHK, closed it, slept in the hall. 7 a.m. I called search rat extermination services. This dude came. He put like 16 or 17 pudiya, choti. And the entire day I left. I was like, I'm going to do work from outside in Bandra. And I came back. And the rat was just crazily running around the entire apartment with a death wish. So what he told me is apparently once he eats the poison, it wants to drink the sewer water and go die. But there was no water. So it was just running around. And then I immediately opened the window and left for more time to get drinks at Irish Whiskey House, whatever. And I came back and the rat was gone.
That's kind of dark.
Yeah, I spent 2 days just on this shit. So that's why I hate rats with vengeance. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's really dark. So that like you basically drove the rat insane.
I did.
Like on purpose.
Because he tried to mess with me and I got driven insane, right?
This battle you have with the rat.
Anyway. So, you got Jazz Weekender done, and you had a sick performance. What's next for you? Like, are you doing international tours? Are you touring more in India?
I am still playing a bunch of shows in India, and we hope to travel international this year. Mm-hmm. Let's see. That is the plan, and I think it's going to happen. So I'm quite excited because
awesome.
It's long time coming.
Manifest that shit.
Fuck
Do some
yeah.
333 11 11 on that.
Yeah, 333 11 11.
Yeah. But no, I just also wanted to touch upon the music business part of it, right? Like, are there...
How did we get here? What
happened?
happened?
So the time passes by when you're having fun.
Yeah.
So, still curious though, how did you break into this business? Yeah, like you're doing it in English, so you're already tapping an international audience, right? And some audience here. But then how do you kind of make it big? Not the Instagram, but like the business kind of stuff. Like, where do I book gigs? Who's going to manage me? What is my vibe? Like, what is my persona? All of those things.
So, I mean, I'll just speak for myself because that's just, I don't think there's any set way to make this happen because...
It's you on the podcast.
Sorry?
It's just you.
Yeah. But no, because I meet musicians who ask me like, oh, how does this happen? I'm like, I don't really know how to tell you how exactly it happens, but for me, I think it happened in a way where I started going for shows in Bombay.
As an audience?
Yeah, as an audience. I started meeting people and very organically I made friends. I started going for more shows. And I think I played my first show with my band when I was in TSM, which was my music school. And we played at this festival called Nariyal Pani in Alibag. And it was just like we were the first band on stage. There were like 5 people over there. 3 of whom were my friends. But you need that experience. And eventually, through booking yourself for things, like in the sense, we played this one show and then someone, I think, saw a video. So once it gets on the internet, you are letting people access the fact that, you know, this is what I do and this is what we sound like. And I remember now, oh my God, you know, now the way I've been like shooting content and we get like a video team like for the band and stuff like that. It was such a headache to put together one video of the band singing and be like, who's going to record this on the phone? Can we get someone to record it on the phone?
Yeah.
Can you get a Zoom recorder? Like it was so much more difficult because we didn't really have, now the resources are so much more easier.
Yeah.
So we try to like make videos, put it up on YouTube and, or, you know, share links. And then 1 or 2 inquiries would start coming in and you just kind of have to figure it out. You have to like talk to people, understand their vibe.
So the networking is a part of it. You can't just be sitting in a silo alone.
Of course not. Like, you know, when you say manifest means you also act towards these things, you know, like I'm going to manifest touring internationally, but I have to apply for my visa. I have to start talking to agents. I have to make that happen.
International tour, international tour.
हाँ, घर पे बैठो TV देखो international. Like, नहीं होने वाला है. So it's just, so it's a lot of that. It's the networking. And that's how we started. That's the first step, you know, make a video, put it up, send it to a few people that you found out do gigs, you know, or send it to some friends who do music, pass it along. You start getting inquiries, you talk to people, you understand their vibe, you know, you fight for payments, you don't get paid, you do all of that.
Yeah, isn't invoicing like the biggest headache in this industry, service industry, music industry, from what I know?
Yeah, it's been very convenient for me for the past 1 year because of my system with my last management. But moving forward, it's going to be a little different for me because I've registered myself as a company now. So I need to figure a lot of shit out.
Are you a sole proprietorship?
What?
Sorry.
A sole proprietorship. It's an LLP.
Okay.
So it's not private limited yet, but it's very easy to make that change happen. But it's an LLP for now and my mom is my partner on it.
Awesome.
Just for the sake of having, you need 2 people for that. So it's just to get this started, you know, whatever, figure this shit out.
Okay.
So, so yeah, so you have to like do all of these things, take as many gigs, talk to people, you know, and I didn't like just decide that, oh, now I want management. Like I released a song myself. I figured that out. I figured how to do that. I figured how to post on social media. How do I tell people?
Spotify for artists.
You like do all of that, install Spotify for artists, be like, wow, you can see this.
Hey, मेरे को युगांडा में भी लोग सुन रहे हैं. Let's go.
That's literally the most exciting thing about that. You open it and you're like, what?
So a lot of your music is now out on like indie playlists. You also share a bunch of that. I find it fascinating how these curators discover what's in and popping and they put you up, bump you up, and then everyone else who's trying to like build like a better setup, a better scene, they're always like, hey, let me check out our music. What's up, kya haal hai?
Oh, you can talk.
Hi,
Okay, bro,
up?
it's my
How's
podcast.
it going?
No, that's okay. No stress. Yeah, anyway, so like, how does do you speak to curators at all? You know, bump my music up or...
So that is actually something that I never did myself. After the first song that I put out, I reached out to management that I thought would work best for me and it worked out and I signed with them. And what happens is, I mean, if you are doing this yourself, then when you upload a song for release, you get the option to basically send it for playlisting. I mean, it's all there on the internet.
Oh, so you can actually do that in the interface.
So you have to like do something. I don't know. Right? You have to send it for playlisting, no? Yeah, basically.
Cue for a proof to come in now.
Yeah, like I'm saying the right thing, right? No, but that's, I mean, it's there. And like platforms like Spotify and YouTube now have pages. I mean, you'd obviously know YouTube way better than me, but for Spotify, for example, they have videos and a lot of like literal explanations to people as to how to improve their reach, how to push their songs. Like, it's all there on Spotify artists. They push this content for creators, and I think that's really cool. So I never did that myself, but I mean, for the first song that I released, yes, you can send your song for playlisting, and then there's a lot of other things that go into the release of your song, and there are many ways to push it out.
What I find the funniest about musicians when they release their songs is like 2 days go, 1 day to go,
3 days to go, 4 days to go.
Out now. For har story aati, they'll reshare every single story, right? And it's just like, I've seen the life cycle of too many songs, but it's weird when there's so many people in the market, so you have to kind of do different stuff. About the Spotify numbers, what are like some countries or regions that completely left you surprised because you have access to it, right? Like, yahan pe bhi log gana sun rahe hain.
I don't know, but I can check. Could you pass me my phone from there? I actually would love to. Thank you so much.
Oh.
It's really strange because
I have a lot of Bangladeshi and Nepali listeners, and I never expected that.
That's interesting. I have some friends in Bangladesh. You all better
shout out to Dhaka, guys.
Shout out to Dhaka, guys. Okay, so let's see. Where does this happen? Songs, releases.
Did you find it?
Yeah. So this is actually quite interesting. I haven't checked this out in a really long time. Top countries for cool kids. I just pulled this out. India, United States, Canada, United Kingdom, Pakistan. Awesome. Australia, Germany, France, Taiwan, United Arab Emirates, Netherlands, Brazil, Singapore. It goes on. And then we're at like... This goes on. Go the Bahamas.
That's crazy.
Like, how is this
1% hoga na, but that's probably like
Ghana,
lesser.
South Africa.
See?
That's so cool.
We're almost there to Uganda.
And then Bhutan's after that, but this is insane. I don't even know this place. What is this place at 55?
Messy. Brunei Darussalam. Brunei is Islamic kingdom somewhere in I don't know.
Yeah, this shit's cool.
That's crazy. Like, you would not expect that because I've listened to a lot of international stuff that just pops up on my Spotify. You know how they have the banner on the top, right? And then they just like check this stuff out.
Yeah,
that's how I actually discovered you, because you popped up on one of the covers
on
that's several playlists.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Spotify.
What do you, out of curiosity, beyond the gigs, what do you do for, say, discovering other people's music? Is it a lot of vinyl stuff? Do you value your friends' recommendations?
A lot. Yes, friends' recommendations a lot. And I also like search for a lot of music because I also DJ and I constantly need to like get new music. Because that's literally my goal, right? All my music is like, that makes you the selector. So selector. So so I actually search for a lot of music. Bandcamp is a very cool place to listen to new music. SoundCloud is where you find a lot of cool underground stuff.
Bandcamp stuff?
I do. I buy a lot of music. Yes, buy music on Bandcamp. I buy a lot of music on Bandcamp. YouTube is my go-to to like find a lot of new music more than anything, and of course playlists and like Spotify and stuff like that. Keep listening. That's it. And then radios, I love Spotify radios. I find like so many new artists all the time because songs based on this, like whatever radio.
Even though, despite that, a lot of people criticize that, the streaming services are bad for artists, whatever. I just think that it really helps discovery. Like, so many people would not know great artists because I don't think enough people go to gigs, but almost everyone listens to a Spotify. Yeah, of course, it's really, really helpful that we can have our music out there, like literally just like that. There's a lot of debate and it's very controversial on how much artists should get paid or not get paid. At the same time, I am obviously not going to take my music off of this platform because it's the one of the best ways for me to reach people, right? So, yeah. Yeah, but like out of sheer curiosity, because we were discussing the business part a little bit, so how does someone like you make money? Off collaborations, off gigs, ticket sales, drink sales? Yeah, there are a lot of different kinds of revenue streams, especially for me as the artist that I am. There is the live gigs, which is one of the... Do those pay well? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, yeah. You have to build up to it though, right? Like obviously, the first time I played a DJ set, I got paid
The first DJ set I did for free. Please, who's gonna pay me?
Exposure.
Come on, like it's my first year. I actually got an opportunity to open for someone cool who taught me how to DJ, so that's cool. But like it was all 3K GPay vibes, you know. Like, it's damn different now. That 3K, 8K GPay vibes. It takes time though. You know, it's been a while and it pays well. But my goals are a lot more than this. So it's just the start to something. But I moved out of my house 4 years ago, so I could push myself to, if you have to pay rent, you have to fucking make that money, right?
Yeah.
So I just did that so I could get that push to be like, okay, I have to run a house. That taught me a lot, like literally. And now finally, I think 3 or 4 years into living by myself, I'm confident of my home. It feels like a home. I'm not worried about my rent on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
But it's taken me those 2-3 years. It was really difficult. And I put myself through that. My family lives in Bombay. We have 2 homes over here, 3. You know, my Masi's here, my Nana is here. But I wanted to do that because it really, really pushed me to finally get like those targets that I'd set for myself 2-3 years ago.
So what did you have to let go of? Because there's a very common trope about laziness and, you know, like lack of discipline among artists, because that's often considered to be like a essential key for creativity. कि bro हम तो मतलब अब आ रहे हैं, time का कुछ पता नहीं है, देख रहे हैं, figure out कर रहे हैं, right? So you just like getting out of your comfort zone and, you know, living alone. What did you have to let go of? Like, did you become more serious about this? Like, I'm also going to be okay to do, say, commercial stuff, for example, voiceovers and all of that.
Yeah.
If that helps pay the bills.
Yeah. It opened me up to a lot more of like accepting commercial work, and at the same time, I enjoy it. Also, it's fine. It's not something that I absolutely hate, because at the same time, it helps me do things that I love doing. It helps me make a song. It helps me shoot a video for the song, because all of this costs money, right? Like a lot of money that you make, you put back into what you're doing, and it's really worth it, because that's how you grow and that's how you do more things and that's how you make cool shit. So
it really, a cool kid.
Cool kid tips 101.
You must hate this song at this point. No,
I don't hate cool kids. No, you know, a song that irritates me is it's this song called Be Alright. If you haven't heard it, hear it. It's such a fucking happy song. No, like it's too happy. Like nahi.
You always have to be like, hi guys, everything's great, I'm a smiley, let's go.
Yeah, like, but once I sing it with the audience, it's cool. But it's just such a fucking happy song, and that was the aim. That's why I wrote it, and it's so happy. Like, what?
Yeah. No, why? The reason I ask you that is because after a certain point, there must be like song weariness that sets in, right? Like, same gana, bar. Like lots of artists start, it's like, oh my god, the banger that I'm known for, but like here's my other stuff as well. Does that happen to you at all?
I mean, yeah, Cool Kids is the most popular song. But as long as that brings people to listen to my other music, I'm happy. Yeah, you listen, you stream it. It just crossed. It's my most streamed song. Also, it crossed like 2 million streams or something. I know people have really huge numbers, but that was like really cool for me. I was like, what? That's so cool. I did not expect that with this song at all. With Cool Kids, I just put it out, and it just organically happened, and it's really, really. It's really cool.
Everyone's either trying to be a cool kid or is already a cool kid, so it works that way. No? Either it's an affirmation of like, hey, I'm already a cool kid, or it's like, are you a cool kid? Find out. Yeah. Anyway, dude, it's been super real having you on and sharing all these vibes, talking. Maza aaya.
Yeah, we spoke about rats, we spoke about cats, then we spoke about rhyming rats and cats.
Rats, cats, bats. That's where
Rats, cats, bats, should, would, could. But thank you so much, man. It's been such a fun conversation.
Yeah. And so where can people find you? Not like to say hi to you.
Yeah.
They can do it, but like
I'm not letting anyone know where to come and find me. That's not happening. You know, like I was telling you when I used to go live on Instagram, like in the lockdown, they would just constantly they would try to guess where I'm living, and it got really creepy after a while. I'm like, firstly, how are you going to do this? But it's just really creepy. So no, that's not happening. But you can find all my music on all streaming platforms, and we're putting out a lot of music videos too. There's a lot of things happening on YouTube. It's really cool. I actually was part of the YouTube Foundry program last year, which was really cool, because this is actually a channel that I've never been able to understand. Like I think it's so cool that
hey YouTube, where you at?
Like
right here, like pyara nahi batao yaar.
Like I think it's so cool, dude, that yours like it's like the fastest growing podcast or whatever. That's cool. It's really cool. It's like when people ask me how your Instagram grow, I don't know, dude. It just happened. Like it's just, you know, something. So we did the YouTube.
Always be quiet about success. I don't know how it happens. Just
I don't know, man. It just happens. But no, the Foundry program has been really helpful. So there's a lot of like music and like videos that we're putting out on YouTube and like a shit ton of shots, dude. Because now they're all about these shots, and I'm like, how many shots am I supposed to make?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff over there. There's a lot of stuff on streaming platforms. There's a lot of gigs. Come see me in like so many different
Are you touring
cities.
like in the next few weeks
I
whenever this
will
comes
be
out?
playing in Nasik on the 11th of March. I
Okay.
don't know if this is coming out before that or after.
We'll figure it
Whatever,
out.
accordingly. March 11th, Nasik. I'm playing Hyderabad on 17th of March. There's a lot more gigs coming up. And I'm like constantly posting about it. So
Yeah, is there a website that people can check out? Like
Instagram.
Instagram,
Way to go.
okay.
Also find me on Twitter. Also find me on Snapchat.
Say,
because now I'm on
I
all
see
of
that.
it. So yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome. बहुत मजा आया बात करके, and best of luck for the rest of your gigging career.
Thank you so much.
Everything else, and
thank you for having
yeah,
me, man.
thank you, Apoor, for plugging this up.
Yeah, thank you so
अब मेरे को
much.
यही करना आता है in the back, just like a bunch of guns. But yeah, this was Dostcast with Kayan urf Ambika Nayak. You can obviously check out all her work, and we'll see you all next Tuesday or Friday whenever the next podcast comes out. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye bye, sayonara. Done.
So cool.
Sick.
Awesome.